I've got a bad case of dad bod.
I'm a middle-aged dad, and this is my journey to get back in shape by rediscovering my childhood love of cycling. Come on and take a ride with me.
Okay, welcome back to On Your Left. Today, we're going to do a short bike trail that I like to call the Cursed Path, even though that has nothing to do with its real name. The only reason I call it cursed is because every time I try to record here, something goes wrong. Either part of the trail is flooded out, or the battery in my phone goes out, or my camera decides to be cranky and not record. So this is probably the fourth or fifth time I'm attempting to film this trail. So this is the, well, depending which way you go, it's either called the Peters Brook Greenway or the Raritan River Greenway. It's a small bike and footpath. It is paved that goes along the Raritan River. The longer part goes straight ahead and to the right. That goes under the main highway, Route 206 up ahead, and into the town of Raritan. In the other direction, well, the trail used to go all the way through to into the town of Somerville and follow along Peters Brook, almost the entire length of Somerville, but it is no longer one continuous trail. It is separated into several different sections when you're up into Somerville, where you have to kind of finish one section, go around the block, find the hidden entrance behind someone's garbage cans to get to the next segment, that kind of thing. And this segment here, it goes up a little bit, not far, like maybe half mile to 3/4 of a mile, and it ends in a fenced-off construction site, because I think someone owns the land there and at some point fenced it off. During the winter, or when it's really rainy, parts of this path will flood because there are some low spots near the river, but it's been dry. It was actually out for a good chunk of the winter. At some point in December, it had gotten flooded, and, well, it was cold enough that the flooded spots froze over and kind of stayed that way for quite a while. It was even in February, it was still flooded out. But I've been on this path a couple of days ago, and it was open, and it's remained that way, so we're going to go through. It's a nice little path through the woods. It follows along some major roads, so it's not the quietest place, but there's some nice views along the way, and it's a very convenient way to get across that major road over there. So it'll actually take you underneath the roadway, up into and let out back behind an old abandoned golf driving range, where you can pick up the roads again in a less traffic spot. So it's actually a convenient way to get across to the next town and to the more user-friendly roads over there, and some of the parks over there. So I'm going to go down the road. I'm actually going to take the left first and take us up along the closed off section as far as I can go. Then we'll turn around and we'll do the longer section that goes under the highway. So with that done, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share the video. It'll be posted on both Rumble and YouTube. You can find me there, and you can see where this is if you follow my Ride with GPS link, which will be in the description. I do have my Strava account up and running now, but there is not much there yet. So I'll hold off, and in a little bit, a couple of videos from now, I'll probably start posting my Strava link as well. So with that in mind, I'm going to get going. We're going to go down this little hill, past the bollard, along the path. I'm going to cut to the left to take the northbound branch of the trail. And like I said, when I get to the end of that, we'll turn around, come back, and go the other way. So let's get going. You know, there's some moderately hilly parts, well, minorly hilly parts in this, but they're not bad. So we're gonna swing over this way. This takes us up to the closed section. There's, you know, this nice paved path some little footbridges over all the little streams and gullies through the area. You'll be able to see when I get to the end where this section used to continue on. And there's a little bit of a construction site along the way. I don't know if it's really a construction site or if it's more like a storage area for one of the companies that owns the land further off to the side of the trail. But it really would have been nice if this trail did cut through, because then it would be actually be a decent path to ride on. You go one end to the other, turn around, go back, you know, and you gotta get some nice distance in. You probably can't really see the river because it's down a little low, but it's over there on the right. Over here on the left is the construction area. I think they're just storing stuff for projects here, for like the sewer projects and stuff. There's the river. Now we're headed towards area where I took you on an off-road trail called the Finder and Wetlands. Is actually in this direction, but this path does not go through to that either. What used to be this trail actually curves a little bit north of that into the main part of town. There may have been a connection through to that area at one time, but it definitely does not exist anymore. Yeah, the fence up here is actually gated, so I almost wonder if the company that owns that has been using this trail as a back entry or something like that. Or I think it used to be gated. It might be fenced off now. We'll see. It's coming up. We're actually almost at the end of this stretch. It is very short. Yeah. It's a very nice day out. Sunny but not too hot. Nice breeze. Here we go. Yeah, there is a gate here. You see, this is the end of the Greenway, but you can see that the path used to keep going through there and continued on. If it could go through whoever owns that up there, it would eventually come out to a street, cross the street, make a left, make a right, find the next hidden entrance, and you can continue on. I think somebody over here, looks like somebody blazed a little dirt trail to get around, so I wonder if that connects through to the next road. You can see the river from here. It's a nice little view. And that side of the river is let's see, what is it down this way? There's no park down this way. I think that's just that land on that side is kind of cordoned off. Further off to the left on the other side of the river is a park on that side, on the other side of the river. But we obviously can't go down that far. If we were going to connect through to the Finder and Wetland trails, we'd have to go through this whatever it is. Not sure what it is. It's probably water department or something like that. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to turn back. I'm going to go to where we started, and I'm going to take you down the other leg of the trail under the overpass and all that stuff. So you get to see this section of the trail twice. This part's a little quieter because we're farther from the main roads. When we go the other path, you'll probably hear a little bit more road noise if the microphone can pick it up. Yeah. One thing about this path, even though it's paved, you do have to watch out when it's wet, just because you see all these polynose maple seeds. Those accumulate, leaves accumulate, and when it gets wet they get slick, and you get spots occasionally throughout the path, either where it's flooded or dirt's accumulated. Those spots can get a little muddy. So when it's wet, the surface can get a little slick. When it's dry like today, it's really nice. I'm going to pick up speed a little because it doesn't look like anybody's out on the trail to worry about. You do occasionally get people walking through here. So like I said, it's a convenient connector between this part of town and the part of town on the other side of the highway. It's not too hard to cross that highway, but it's much safer if you can hop on a trail and jump under it. See, this is one of those muddy spots here. Well, it's all dry now, but that's probably a spot where it gets a little flooded out. I can show you when we go on the other leg the spot that seriously floods. And this leg is mostly flat, so you can kind of open it up. The curves aren't anything drastic. The other leg has a few more tricky curves. Another dirt trail through there, probably goes down to the river. I think there's a little beach on the river down that path. All right, we're back at the beginning. I'm gonna take the left here onto the other trail. And here we go. So wooded area, you can hear the highway. We're coming up on the overpass right now. You can probably see the road, the asphalt surface is much more muddy here, so it does get wet over here. This is a fun spot. You get a nice echo. This is probably a really good fishing spot on the river. Yeah, a few hills here. A nice little jog. I think a whole trail is something like 1.5 miles, maybe. All this green stuff. There's more flowers here about a few weeks ago, especially in this area on the left here. All right, coming up here past this little bridgey area is the dip where it floods out all the time. This area gets really flooded. Sometimes you can go around in the grass, but usually not, because the flooding will extend through the grass. And it's just a mess. When that happens, you really can't get through the trail because it gets too deep there to ride through unless you're exceptionally brave. So we got a little bit of a curve here. There's a couple of short, sharp turns on this section. I've seen people on Strava and on Ride with GPS who take this trail at like close to 20 miles an hour. I don't know how they do it with those turns. They must crash brake, take the turn, and immediately go fast. Here's a turn, a little bit of an uphill. Turns a little tight. That one's not too bad. Fight it to the top of the hill, over the top into the next curve. Another section that gets a little muddy. Excuse me, just swallowed a bug. This section here floods a little bit sometimes. You can tell because along the sides there's no grass in those sections. Okay, I'm going to cross over the brook here, or streamlet, or whatever that is. There's some tourist information signs along this path. I think it has to do with the Raritan River Restoration Project that's been going on for a long time. Ooh, more bugs. Yeah, this spot is usually, well, when you catch the right time of year and there's more flowers blooming, there's like tons of little yellow flowers in that section over there on the left. Here's one of those signs. Right now, the main road is off to the right. I can hear them, you probably can't on the microphone. And the river is still on my left. And pick up some speed through here. All right, I'm getting pelted by bugs, but they're in small patches, so it's not too bad. Bought a lightweight gator down here that I can pull up over my face if the bugs get bad. So I had a bad experience on the canal trail a couple of weeks ago, where I was just swimming through a sea of little bugs. Only choice I really had was to put my head down, breathe through my nose as much as I could. Yeah, there's some nice little meadows here, even though we're sandwiched between a couple of main roads and the river. This section's still flowering a little. A little bit buggy over here. By the time I put my bug shield up, I'll be through it though. See, this is a place where lots of leaves accumulate. Yeah, when it's wet, that gets a little slick. When it's dry, no big deal. All right, going up the hill. It's a bit much of a hill. We're near the end. Around this curve, this is the old driving range. Come around to another little parking lot. So you don't have to come right out on the road. You got this little bit of a gravel parking lot. This little side street. And even though it's a fairly big road up there, this section doesn't get a whole lot of traffic. So it's a good place to come out. Put you out in a place that's easy to navigate. So I'm going to stop here. Hopefully the video came out this time. And hopefully all my cameras are still running. And hopefully you'll get to enjoy this one and break the curse of the cursed trail. So just remember, like, subscribe, and comment to the channel. Find me on Rumble, find me on YouTube. You can also find me on Facebook, Ride with GPS, and coming soon Strava as well. So take care. This is the nicest day I've had in a long time. Really stoked. I'm wearing all light stuff and I still feel overdressed. So it looks like it's going to be a nice weekend to get out and ride. So have fun, take care of yourself, and peace out.